good evening and welcome to the next episode of Third and Short Podcast. I'm rocking a goal up because we are 2-0. Jamie's looking fly because
I am 2-0.
Tom, yeah, we're surprised he's here, if I'm being honest. But
just here so I don't get fined.
Yes, excellent. Gary's coming straight away. So yes, welcome along to episode 3, week 2. Is almost done, pending an abomination of the Packers and the Lions tonight. As mentioned, me and Jamie are over the moon. Tom, not so much, but I'm sure we'll come on to that in just a short while. Firstly, though, I did want to give a special shout out to a follower on Twitter who became our 700th follower. They've asked us to give them a shout out, so they would like to be known as the Chemists. They are LC Incorporated. Their name is Chester's Goons, and they've asked us to read out our favourite tweet of theirs. So I'm just going to pick one. Scrolling through their Twitter feed at the moment.
The worst part is I don't know what's going to come.
It says 1 day ago, so 10 to 9 our time on the 19th of September, they tweeted, "I got pegged by a 4." So thanks for following us. You're probably our favourite follower, or not, as the case may be. But that's your prize for becoming our 700th follower.
Otherwise, Gad's on a different account.
Or is that
he was the 4?
Oh, we do know who Lucy Poe is. Just shout out to Twitter. We've got loads of new followers on Twitter. I think we're on 800 and something now, are we? Mid 800, something like that, flying up, which means you guys are doing your job.
832.
One more sub on YouTube for 200.
Yeah, he wants to be our 200th subscriber. If it's you, you'll get an excellent
You'll get a shout out from a tweet.
Just like that. Week 2 is almost done. How are we all feeling? Jamie?
Absolutely love it. I mean, that performance yesterday was a little bit shaky in the first. It was my friend's birthday yesterday, Taryn. Big shout out, big free one, and we went out for a meal. So I had Red Zone on my phone the whole meal. Don't you worry, guys. And it was the first time in a Sunday I haven't worn my Bucks jersey all day. So as soon as I got home, I put it on, and then we absolutely smashed it from that point. And we have won 10 games in a row, 9 in a row, scoring over 30 points. And that's all because of that Brady jersey, because I had it from that point. I got it around Christmas time, have worn it every game.
Superstition, though, that.
It hasn't been watched since last season.
If anyone wants to ruin the Bucks form, just break into Jamie's house, set fire to the Brady jersey.
I've already given his address away on here once.
10 parsley
No,
places.
don't do it.
No, don't do it.
That brings back some COD memories. No, don't do it. Yeah, Bucks looking really good as well.
And Panthers are looking really good too. I mean, usually it'll be the Saints and the Bucks on 2-0, 2-0, but Panthers are 2-0.
Ooh. We'll segue and bring the mood down a little bit. Ask how Tom is feeling. Excellent.
Told you, I'm just here so I don't get fined. No, like I was saying to you before we jumped on air, it's the only good thing about losing on a Thursday is you can sort of come to terms with it by the Monday. So yeah, I'm feeling all right now.
You sound it.
It was a close game, though, wasn't it?
It was. It's shit losing to a divisional rival as well when you feel like you'd maybe done enough to win the game, and not sitting here making excuses, but that offside when you see it, when all the commotions come on and you actually see the video where it's not offside, you're just like, for fuck's sake, what standard Giants, just a curse on a Thursday. The Slayton drop, the DJ rushing TD that was pulled back for holding, which wasn't holding. But again, we just didn't go out there to win at some occasions. Like, the biggest thing that stuck out for me was they got the ball back and they were 2 down. we were 1 down, and we picked them off on their 24 with 2 minutes and 17 left on the clock. And they got the ball back after we kicked a field goal at 2 minutes 11. It was just 3, just let's run up the middle, run up the middle. Like, and then whereas you see, like, look at, Ravens yesterday and how their coach spoke to them all on that 4th and 1. Bit of a different situation where we needed the points. But again, that's about going out and being ballsy. They had the points. They just wanted to get the first down to kill the game. But we are so conservative, and whether that's still judged being new or not, I don't know. But you can tell that sort of honeymoon period is starting to go when you look at Twitter and stuff like that. No one's calling for his head or anything, but people are now expectant. Whereas last year, he got a load of excuses and he was blamed on everyone else. Jason Garrett was a bit weird this season. This game, like, set out first drive, scored a TD. It was like Garrett wasn't the offensive play call. It was mental. But we dropped 29 points. I think that's the most we've dropped under Jason Garrett. DJ had a good game, solid game. Again, bit bitter today when everyone's singing and dancing about Lamar Jackson being the first QB to throw over 200 yards and rush for 100 yards in a game with a touchdown on each, when DJ did that, but he got called back. But he still got 95 rushing yards, over 240 passing yards. It was a good game by DJ. But I think the biggest thing from a neutral is people probably look at that and go, Washington's all being an all, powerful front seven that they talk about up against Giants' offensive line. I don't think many people are going to fear that Washington. They just can't see it. I think the Cowboys will probably be sat there licking their lips, especially after beating the Chargers last night with some bullshit calls. They probably look at that division and just think it should be a walkover, and it probably will be. I just hope that Patrick Graham puts on a load of weight again and goes back to the defensive play caller he was last year, because we've been shy this season defensively. We've been really soft. And that's probably where we lost that game. DJ had put in a position, and the offense, not just DJ, obviously, had put us in a position where we probably should have won that game, and we didn't. It was shit. It was minging. Always is. Thursday night, staying up till fucking 4 or 5 o'clock to then witness your team win a game because the other team have missed a field goal, to then just see that little yellow flag on the play. Yay. Oh, that's just what I want to see. Fucking hell, more penalties. All right, okay, yeah, let's get a bit closer. What's the betting this one goes in? Yeah, straight through the post. Standard.
I think the thing that I saw about this one, there was only 2 touchdowns and 5 field goals by the Giants. That's the issue. Like you said, you're getting into position.
That isn't the issue. Look at last season. That is not the issue.
But that's what I mean. Like,
is 20% of what DJ threw last year.
That's what I mean. You finish one of those field goals into a touchdown, you've won the game.
Yeah, and like I say, the Slayton drop, big blown coverage, and he was just wide open in the end zone. He dropped it, stuff like that. Bit disappointing. There's loads of stats coming out. Everyone knows what Twitter's like when your team loses, but you see all sorts of stats coming out at the moment. And one I saw earlier, we were talking about yesterday in the group about depth chart and stuff. Oh, wide receivers. I think Golladay is the second least for separation. Kyle Rudolph's 4th least separation, and then Slayton and Shepard are in the bottom 3rd. We're just sort of really locked down by this offensive playbook we've got, and it's a struggle. And I think you're probably going to have games that will give us hope, like Thursday, where you think, oh, maybe we could do it with this offensive playbook we've got. But your lower averages, when you're trying to actually take 3 downs to get that 10 yards every time, you're not going to get enough. You're not going to score enough. So yeah, it's a worry for the season. It really is. Like Ash said, could be worse. Could be a Dolphins fan. After last night, obviously a bit disappointing for them. But I think the long term is, I think Giants, are on for a losing season again, without a doubt. All the pre-season optimism is gone. And it's just a case of, what is it going to be? Is it going to be, are we going to not tank, but are we going to be bad enough that we get a top 5 pick, or are we going to be that fucking middle of the bunch shite again, and not really get a pick that you can do much with. I mean, look what we've done with ours. Kadarius Toney, brilliant.
I was about to say that. He hasn't done anything.
I've got more receiving yards in the NFL than Kadarius Toney. But again,
What's still -2?
-2, yeah, across 2 games. But it's weird. First game, he got 2 plays given him, and they were like gadget plays, and one was for a loss of 9 yards. Obviously, had a catch for 7 yards after that. He then didn't get any more snaps until the second half. I think he got 3 at the very end in garbage time. You know, he had nothing on him, nothing came to him, and then the game just gone. Then he played a few snaps in the first half, wasn't involved, and then there was reports of him and Judge having like a stern conversation on the touchline. Didn't come back in the game, and then I think he tweeted or put on Instagram after the game or something like, it was like a meme, and it was like, I'm not mad, it's just this shit's lame for real right now, or something like that. Then again, we all know what the New York media is like, so there was a frenzy over that. And then he come out and said, nothing to do with the game, nothing to do with that. Media are all clowns. Again, not going to have gone down well. So yeah, he didn't have the best preseason. He just didn't play. He had COVID, family issues, all sorts of stuff. Not looking good right now when the Bears have got Justin Fields with our pick, and we've passed on Rashawn Slater. There's all sorts of questions, but it's all hindsight. And look, NFL's back, and I've got to enjoy it. Last night was enjoyable. Giants didn't play. It was fucking great.
Oh, well, that sort of moves. I've got 2 games to talk about.
I know. I mean, last episode you were 0 for 0.
Well, we've gone 2-0 within less than a week. First off, we have the question in there from our favourite listener, Elusive Poet, there for you, Tom.
So
who do you trust? Sorry, on the Giants roster and staff.
Oh, he's difficult. I like Judge and I like Patrick Graham. You know, it's only 2 games this season, and I would have expected us to have gone forward from what we were last season, and we haven't. We've gone backwards. But again, it's only 2 games, so I'm not writing them off yet. Obviously, roster, Sterling Shepard is looking brilliant. Andrew Thomas is looking solid. Again, Chase Young played the Giants and he got 1 QB pressure, no sacks, no hits, absolutely locked down. He's shit. And then, devastating thing was Nick Gates, one of my favourite offensive linesmen. Lower leg fracture in the first quarter after moving into guard. Who else? I liked Slayton, but last season he had drop issues. This season he's had drop issues. And then defense, I like the defense, but I just think I said it last season when it happened. I don't like the fact we got rid of Tomlinson, or we let Tomlinson go, and we've not really replaced him. I think we brought in Austin Johnson, and it's showing now. Like Leonard Williams has got 1 sack, but in the second game did nothing. Dexter Lawrence across 2 games has had 1 QB hurry, and Tomlinson was like an unsung sort of hero. And he was taking 2 players. It was allowing Williams to get the sacks he done. So it's a worry there. But I like our DBs. I like our safeties. I like Blade Martinez. So I don't know. Obviously, I like the defense a lot more than the offense. But at the moment, this season, well, last game, defense aren't performing, and the offense did more than they normally do. Yeah.
Okay, come on, Matt. Let's get started now. Let's bring this pod up.
So we had Monday Night Football last week with Monday Night Football with.
I didn't even say that. Then
I was just looking there for about 3 seconds. Didn't even know.
All my cameras froze. This is a great way to encourage people to watch rather than listen, because we ain't going to tell you what's on the screen, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So if you are a podcast listener, get on YouTube and skip to 15 minutes and have a look at what Tom's doing. So we had Monday Night Football against the Ravens. Ravens, good side, playoff team from last year. Granted, they had some injuries, however, that's not my fault. So we, taking my bias out of it, and it was a great game. A great game. Went to overtime. and we took it with a touchdown in overtime, and I thought the team played quite well. I was buzzing for the win. Lamar Jackson was good, wasn't excellent. He was good, whereas last night I thought he was excellent. From what I've seen from them beating the Chiefs. So that's a good win against the Ravens. Like I said, they're a playoff team. They're going to be a contender. Lamar is great. They have got injuries, but I still think the Ravens are an excellent side. And then last night we had a short week and went on the road, travelled halfway across America to go and face another AFC playoff team in the Steelers, who last season I think went 11-0. Start the season, did they? I'm pretty sure they went 11-0 before they lost a couple of games. Yeah, and I'll be honest, we had a couple of injuries. Our O-line had 2 starters missing. We had no Josh Jacobs, and as you'll be able to tell from our stats, we didn't really run the ball much. But we won 26-17, and we were good for the win. It wasn't even a lucky win. TJ Watt for them did get injured during the game, which it's a massive, massive loss for any team, TJ Watt. But at the same time, Josh Jacobs for me is an elite running back, and we didn't have him for the whole game. So it's swings and roundabouts in my opinion. We had injuries, they got injuries, whatever. But Derek Carr, which is the reason I am wearing the number 4 jersey, was unbelievable last night. Took an injury on a touchdown pass to Foster Moreau. Wasn't looking good. There was players on the ground, kneeling down, praying for him. Gets up, carries on, plays the game, throws a 65-yard touchdown to Henry Ruggs, who last night went for over 100 yards. Great. And if you look at how the Raiders, Derek Carr spread the ball about last night. Let me just get the stats up. It wasn't just he had one main target in Ruggs. He threw it about really well. So here we go. He gave five receptions to Ruggs, 5 to Waller, 5 to Renfro, 5 to Kenyon Drake, 3 to Ryan Edwards, 2 to Foster Moreau, 1 to Willie Snead, 2 to Derek Carrier. So he spread the ball out really well. Ruggs had 113 yards. Obviously, one of those was a 65-yard touchdown. Waller had 65. Renfro had 57. Kenyon Drake had 46. Brian Edwards had 40. So he's mixing it up. Whereas in week 1, he pinged it at Waller about 400 times before he realised we had anyone else playing. Massive shout out to Hunter Renfro last night. Caught a ball that was unreal. I don't know if I've shared the link in our group, but Renfro, we off my chair then. Renfro was almost snapping a guy's ankles, but Carr threw it a little bit above him. Carr threw it a little bit above Renfro and he pulled it out.
Well, have I had a stroke?
Do you remember last season when you were like that for one of the games?
Like Gaz has just said, since the second half of the game against the Ravens, Derek Carr has been outstanding. He's leading the league in passing yards. He's over 128 yards ahead of second place after 2 games. His passer rating last night was 126 points, I think. I think Tom's gone. But yeah, couldn't really be more pleased with how we've started. We started 2-0 against two contenders for me, the Steelers and Ravens will be there or thereabouts, I think. And then we move on to 3 home games in a row against Miami, against the Chargers, and against the Bears, I think. So, there's a real chance for us to be 5-0. There's also a real chance for us to be 2-3. But I'm pleased. We look good. Our defence looks legit. Max Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue are outstanding. Solomon Thomas was great last night. And then a massive shout out to Nate Hobbs. He was a late round pick. I think he was a 5th round pick this year, and he's got himself a starter's job. Casey Hayward was great last night. He was one of Gus Bradley's guys from previous things at Chargers. I'm just really happy for once. I know I think we started last year. Did we start 2-0 last year? No. We were 6-3, I think, last year, didn't we? And I was happy then, but we all know what happened. But there's a different feel about the team this year. It feels different. I know. It's easy to say that, but I felt comfortable with watching us last night. I kind of didn't know we were going to win, but I kind of felt we were going to, and that's not the position I've been in since probably 2016. Happy. 2-0 against 2 playoff teams, 2 contenders. Against 2 good quarterbacks. Well, against Lamar Jackson, who's a good quarterback, and against Ben Roethlisberger, I think he's on his way out. He's still a good quarterback, but his time is limited, I think. So I'm happy 2-0. Raiders are going to raid us. We'll probably lose to the Dolphins next week.
Yeah, I just want to just bring one thing up as we recap week 2 and go into our picks of players and stuff. Obviously, on the last episode, let's just get into it.
Touch whilst Geordie's obviously active in the chat. I just wanted to make sure. Quite a while ago, we did our fantasy draft, and pretty sure he put a prediction in the group somewhere. Unfortunately, I can't find it. Otherwise, I would have already been on this. But Jordan and I played each other week 1, and he was very confident about beating me based on projected stats. The little analytical loser. Just to be clear, Patrick Queen is not going to get 20 points tonight, so I'll take that week 1 victory. Thank you very much.
So, Tom.
I've got to admit, that's one of my favourite videos.
What I liked about the video is everyone thought I had a hand in it. It had absolutely nothing to do with me. I was sent it before it went out on the overtime show, and I did like it. But yeah, I assume you know who made it now, do you?
No, I know Bones is good with that sort of stuff, but Gaz as well.
It was Gaz.
Gaz is a little virgin that can do stuff like
that. he's a technological virgin.
Gaz was fully responsible for that. Nothing to do with me. As soon as I put it in our group chat saying someone needs to
thing is, we've got some questions to be having here, because I don't know if anyone's noticed, but we've now sort of created this interpod banter. Gary needs to pick a fucking side. He really does.
I tried to trade him last night.
This is the thing. You need to realise who's calling the shots, boy.
I asked if we could trade Gaz for JP.
Can we draft somebody in from college? Can we do it like that? Can we trade him for some picks?
Yeah.
I'll just give him away.
Yes. No one will fucking have him. We'll have to terminate his contract.
We'll have to
decorate the house.
Once the season's finished, we'll have to settle it with some sort of competition. Now, we could have a massive drink off. We know Mark doesn't drink, so we'd probably win that. We could have a game. We could have a game of footy, and that might impact JP with his abilities. We could
spend some money that'll impact it.
I was trying to think what I could do for Jordan.
Amazon shopping contest.
Yeah, we could. The winner gets Amazon vouchers. Look at Mark's
overtime pod versus waste of time pod. I mean, we have a good time. We don't mind.
To be honest, which pulls in more viewers, lads? All the best.
Oh, yeah.
If I had a mic, I'd drop. Well, I do have a mic, but I'm not dropping it. But yeah, no. And it has become, like Tom said, it's become a thing where it's mostly Tom versus them. I'll be honest. Although last night was pretty funny in our side group chat. Us 3 guys and the overtime guys, that we were just trying to wind each other up during the late game or the later game. It was pretty funny. I think me and Tom were going to Jamie a little bit, trying to get him to bite about it. And then JP,
this is when I was out having a meal as well.
I didn't know you were out. If I'd known you were out, I'd have probably gone on someone else. But then JP just came in and went, "The both shit." And I got on.
Like Mark says, it's all good banter until he slags the Giants off. Then fuck him.
So, what was it you said to me on Friday, Tom? When we was out.
He's got this Giants agendas coming out. He's targeting them.
Mark's making you dislike the Raiders.
Yeah, and the thing is, I can't slag him off on his pod because then. But it doesn't have the effect because you're here, and
it doesn't have the effect when your team's 0-2.
But yeah, it's like, well, this is the Giants. When do we not go 0-2? But yeah, I think I said in the group yesterday, it's like the 1% chance we've got of the Giants beating the Raiders. If that happens,
There'll be no
just
podcast.
be ready. In that group, be ready. And in this pod, you're not coming on, you're right. Marty's coming on this pod.
Both come on.
Because I've got nothing to lose here. We are the whipping boys of the NFL. So you beat us, it's expected. We beat you. I'll drive to Newcastle, I promise you.
Overtime versus normal guys live in Newcastle. We'll pick Jordan JP up on the way.
Yeah.
How did you feel?
But for those of you obviously that haven't actually tuned into the overtime pod,
Don't bother.
Probably a good choice. But no, in all seriousness, now I know some of it was complex in the off season. Some of it massively went over my head. Mainly when Jordan spoke, so I couldn't be arsed listening. But go and have a listen now, because they're getting into the part where obviously they're talking about their teams and results as well. So they're sort of copying what we do, because they're struggling to come up with their material. I get that. But you know, it's getting really interesting, and three of them are decent guys. So it's really having to watch. Yeah, I'll just let them pick who it is between them. I've already put my favourite list out
last time?
Mark knows where he stands.
Remember last time you said that though? Bones was like, "Is it me?"
Yeah,
Is it me?
Bones have been on the dooms without a doubt.
But no, like we have to talk about the whole fantasy football thing, because what happened? Like
Patrick McQueen,
he was so confident.
The thing is, he did, and also they still lost. The Ravens.
Yeah. I was having a look like at this week where I was sort of at, because I was playing Bones, but in that draft, I can't remember which one it was, but I only drafted 2 running backs of note. I had Michael Carter, and I didn't take Jacobs out. Bit of a schoolboy, and then when Derrick Henry goes and fucking rushes for 50 odd points, I think I'm getting beat by Bones that week. But I'm winning in the other one, in the bigger group one, thank God. So I actually get my first fantasy football win.
Good question there from Elusive Poet.
Yeah.
How do you guys prepare your day for Sundays and the Monday/Thursday primetime games? Wild dedication, I don't envy it.
So I mean, I don't know about you guys, but last night, like I said, I was up till 4:30 watching the game. So, and then I'm at work at 9, so it's 3.5 hours sleep. Don't really prepare. Just stay up and see what happens. If you fall asleep, you fall asleep. I know people like Gary, or maybe yourself, Matt. If you're on the late, you might have a nap beforehand and set an alarm. Or
yeah, I do. Yeah,
I usually just play Madden until the game starts.
So for our Monday night game, I'd work on Monday. I'd work on Tuesday. I went to bed about 11 o'clock. Set an alarm for 1:10. And I got up at 1:10. I think I must have fell asleep around about 11:30, so I had just over an hour and a half sleep. Mark's comment. And I got up and I actually fell asleep during the second half. Luckily, I was recording from the Raiders prime time, so I woke up in the morning. I always set an early alarm to get up, maybe half an hour, 45 minutes earlier than I need to, and I'll watch the rest of the game, or if I need to watch the whole game. I'll always try and stay up. There's a couple of times last year, which you probably remember, where like I stayed up for the Chargers game, and I'm like, "Why have I done this now? It's 4:30. I'm angry. I'm not going to be able to sleep. We've lost against the Chargers to the last minute field goal." Yeah. So, and I can't help but do that every single time. But
yeah,
it is what it is.
I find Thursdays are the kill. If you lose on a Thursday, it's the worst, because like you say, you don't get sleep for a good hour afterwards, because you're spewing and you're scrolling through Twitter, spouting hate, liking every minging comment possible, and then you're up for work at 7:30. That's always a killer for me. But this Thursday, I had a nap from about 6 till about 8:30, and it sort of kept me going. And then you just got to plow. The good thing is it's a Friday, so it feels like it goes quicker when you're getting through work. But it's just the dedication we've got, us loyal fans, for these really good teams.
I think obviously as quite a big wrestling fan myself anyway, I've always done it since like 25 years. I've been watching wrestling pay-per-views going until 4 a.m. Sunday night, so I'm used to it. So this is why I've had 3 hours sleep, gone to work, smashed it, did a football coaching session, doing this now, playing football after here, loving life. It's what I do. What I do.
Another
Multi-talented.
comment there from Alicia. Every time I think about getting more primetime NFC West games, I remember that would be excruciating for UK fans. Yeah, it's what we have to do, isn't it? I suppose. As a UK fan of NFL.
This is one of the things. Before Brady, we were always 6 o'clock on Game Pass. It was great. Now we've got Brady. It's like, yeah, we're putting you at the prime time, 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, luckily, like I said, we've had the Thursday night game. We've got this one now that we had at 9 o'clock. We've got the Rams next, which again is a prime time game. The Giants against them, that's a prime time game. So I think obviously we are Super Bowl champions, so they want to put us on TV as much as possible if we have to. So yeah, looking at it, Patriots 1:20 a.m., Eagles 1:20 a.m., Giants 1:15 a.m., Saints 1:20 a.m. Just like why? So yeah, some late nights for the Bucks this year. So it's gonna be great. Yeah, you lucky bones. You can enjoy it.
Who do we have winning tonight between the Lions and the Packers? There you go. Normally you'd be going Packers all day long, wouldn't you? But after what happened last week, I'm not sure. You know.
Yeah, I suppose. Do you expect a bounce back? Is the
5 touchdown Rodgers?
I'd probably say Packers because the Lions are fucking abysmal, aren't they?
5 touchdown Rodgers. Let's do it. Why not? Come back with a bang.
Yeah, I'd like the Lions to win. I really would, but it's not going to happen. Is it?
It's not going to happen.
I don't think so. I mean, you never know. Anything can happen. You know, the Raiders have gone 2-0. Fucking hell. But
hey, last time we went 3-0.
I can't do it. I can't.
Last time we went 3-0.
Conviction in it.
Last time we went 3-0, 2002. Made the Super Bowl that year.
You should go 3-0 this season
Should
because it don't look like Tua's going to be back, is it? It's a rib injury, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not.
It's a nice
broken. It's bruising. The announced it just before we came out. Actually, that
They are. So now he's going for an MRI, won't he?
It'll be touch and go. Touch and go, I think.
So I mean, before we move on to week 3, then who is your standout player or a standout game? We've probably talked a lot about Ravens Chiefs, so I assume that's probably everybody's standout game. But does everybody have a standout?
I enjoyed
moment?
Seahawks and Titans more. Like
he had his camera off. Why not? There you go. You can look at yourself now.
It's actually a good picture to have for that. Yeah, I really like the Seahawks more for the finish because obviously the Seahawks were sort of running away with it at one point. But the finish was really good, and obviously Red Zone didn't have the footage after possession changed over and overtime, so just banged it on Game Pass quickly and watched that.
That's what I did. It was so weird that they just turned it straight off. You expect that they would probably put it on Sunday night in America on that channel, but they didn't, did they? They was like, nah, it's done. Go on Game Pass and watch the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, they were saying it was on CBS, so that's why they don't have the contractual rights apparently to show it past a certain time, which is odd. But I mean, we the only thing we really missed if you were watching it on Red Zone was Wilson trying to extend the play, and I thought it was a safety.
I think it was the forward progress because when it started, it was on the edge.
And then obviously the Titans went and finished it off. But my pick is going to be Henry from that game. I think he rushed for like 185 yards, 3 touchdowns, especially after the first week he had. So yeah, I'm taking him as my player of the week.
Matt?
Ooh, I've got an obvious choice in DC, haven't I, Derek Carr, for his performance in both games. But to take the Raiders out of it, I will probably go Lamar Jackson. You know, I think he single-handedly beat the Chiefs. I think.
First time ever as well, isn't it? First time ever beat the Chiefs.
So I'm going to go Lamar. For me,
yeah.
If I'm taking the Raiders out of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, obviously I'd go for Brady, 5 touchdown Brady. Or maybe even Mike Edwards, 2 pick sixes in the fourth quarter to slide that game. But I can't look. I mean, I've got another 2 as well. There you go. There's a spike for you. Jesus, just
Oh, get the camera.
that bounced back up. That's how I broke my TV. That. Yeah. I can't look beyond. I think it's going to be Brady or Edwards for me. Like I said, Edwards was massive in that fourth quarter, and to get 2 pick sixes against Matt Ryan, he hasn't had an interception in, I think it was like 180 plays or something like that. It was the longest streak in NFL at the time. And then obviously he had 2 pick sixes in that game. He doesn't really throw the ball away a lot. But Chris White's got a point there. Tyler Lockett.
He's playing really well. He is. I think the biggest thing for Seahawks I'm still new to NFL in essence. When I talk about the Seahawks, all I've seen is them sort of doing what Arsenal used to do, where they were strong up until sort of Christmas. So again, we'll see. But I really like Lockett. I think DK's been quite quiet, hasn't he? Lockett's been the standout there.
It was the same in that Chiefs game, though. Everyone was just double teaming Tyreek, so they just kept getting it to someone else, and everyone else was racking up the numbers.
That's what happened with Darren Waller. Darren Waller against the Steelers, they kept putting 2 and 3 men on him. So that's why DC managed to spread the ball. I don't think Waller got
advantage, don't you?
Reception, in the first half.
But they're in a tough division, the Seahawks. Rams are looking solid, aren't they? The Niners are 2-0 with all them injuries as well.
Picking up wins 40 hours, that's a sign of a good team, isn't it?
Yeah, so
playing well.
Even with Jimmy G.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for them to get there, because the thing is as well, not just that. Even if you get out of your division, you've got your shite to compete with, haven't you? So yes, it's going to be tough, but I wouldn't be surprised either. They've looked all right so far. I don't really know what they're like defensively. Jordan will probably touch on that, but they didn't hold out yesterday, did they? Fourth quarter, they really let Tennessee come back in. I'm sure it was a 2-score lead at one point, maybe even more.
Yeah.
So yeah, who knows?
Like I said, without that overtime loss, it's 49ers, Rams, Cardinals all on 2 wins. Seahawks obviously now 1-1. It's a tough division to have, and obviously the Rams have got us next week on Sunday, so it's going to be a very difficult game.
That's a big game. I'm looking forward to that.
Again, like you would expect, this is probably, because I would say this may be the NFC Championship game.
Could well be, yeah.
Again,
I think it'd be you and someone out of that division, regardless whether it's the Rams or not.
Or Cardinals. Like I said, Cardinals have impressed a lot of people. Except Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray is ridiculous. I know I ain't a fan of him per se, but he's looking fucking outstanding.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can't wait for this game because we can make Matt Stafford look like the silly boy he is. So.
I may or may not have been talking to a friend of ours, friend of the show, maybe someone in the overtime crew, talking about Stafford this weekend, and it's fair to say neither of us are a massive fan of his, and we know that there is various people one or two people who may believe the hype around Stafford in our group chat, but yeah, me and I'm not going to say his initials because I'll give it away, but me and somebody were talking about Stafford outside of the group yesterday, just saying that he's a good quarterback, but he's not elite in my opinion. There we go. There's one. Stafford on MVP. Come on, boys. You don't know. But no, Stafford is good. Is he good enough to take the Rams? I don't know. The Rams are a good team anyway. Goff was poor, average perhaps. Stafford is better than Goff. Is Stafford as good as the likes of Mahomes, your Brady's, and so on? Don't think so, in my opinion.
No.
That's interesting to see. I tipped the Rams to get to the Super Bowl, didn't I? So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think that the Colts, as good as the Colts are, the Rams made hard work of it last night. And Stafford, I don't know. It's all
against that Bucks D.
It's all ifs and buts.
Yeah. So I mean, like we alluded to it a little bit earlier, but you've got Miami this weekend. Two of questionable, shall we say? I don't know.
Trial, didn't they? 35-0 yesterday.
Jacoby Brissett.
Divisional game as well, wasn't it? It was against the Bills.
And I think they were saying
Bills.
like, don't the Bills always spank them as well?
Yeah. Yes.
What
there
was the
obviously stat, wasn't
was it yourself that put that stat that they've had?
That
There's
big.
been four
Yeah.
shutouts, and Miami were 3 of them,
Yeah.
or something
4
like
shutouts
that.
of over 35 points or something like that.
Since 2016 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was that Miami was 3 of them, Patriots was the other, or something like that.
There have been 4 shutouts since the start of 2016 that have been 35-0 or worse. The Dolphins are losing 3 of them. They lost to the Bills 35-0, Patriots 43-0, Ravens 40-0.
Jeez.
But Raiders going to Raider, get him on the Miami win.
Laces out! So what, Tom? Are you going to put a digit on there and go 1 and 2? Who have you got?
It's the 0-2 derby, isn't it? Suns versus the Falcons.
So
Atlanta Falcons. Kyle
Yeah.
Pitts has finally started to get some catches though against us.
Yeah, we're awful against
He
Tiger.
looked impressive.
So yeah, it's a game on that we should sit there and go, well, it's one we want to win. But don't know. I reckon it'll be quite an attacking game. The way both defenses have been so far this season. So yeah, I'm past the sort of
Stafford
optimism.
is not elite. Get Bones' comment on there now. Stafford is not elite. TBA, fight me. I want you better to go.
Look, I think even Ben knows he's not elite because he can't be elite yet because he's done fuck all. He's not even got a playoff win to his name.
Has he got to play for parents?
Instead that, if he then goes and does it this season with the Rams and gets a couple of playoff wins under his name, then he's got a quote to sort of say, I'm close to.
All I'm going to say is I triple dare, double dare, stamps is no returns, you Bones, to bring that up on your show, Stafford versus Carr this season. And I will tune in live for that because Mark's not a Derek Carr fan.
We'll let the Stato do his thing.
Mark is not a Derek Carr fan. So Mark will give you a very unbiased opinion of Derek Carr, more than I would. And he'll also give you a fair opinion of Matt Stafford. Bring it up. I'll be interested to see how that debate goes so far.
Just quickly going back to Falcons Giants, which team's going to throw it away in the fourth quarter? Because they both have habits of doing it.
Yeah. Hopefully the Falcons, obviously.
Tom's funny.
Yeah. But
it's going to be the first draw of the season. None of them want it. They're just going to throw it to each other.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, again, it all depends because this is the thing. This is what I was saying about DJ. The frustrations that we have is like that first game. It was like, oh, brilliant until he just did the fumble, and then second game where if he played like that every week, he was nothing special, but he did his job, and to get that out of DJ, I'd take that. But this is the problem. He's done that 1 week. This week he'll go back to his turnovers again, or just do something crazy, something stupid that will cost us. So this is the problem with the Giants. You can't sit there and confidently say we're going to do this or we're going to do that because the team is just such a fucking variable in itself. 9 things out of 10 can go right and 1 doesn't, and it'll be a different one every week. But it makes it exciting to watch. Like, I was sweating so much on Thursday because of like how involved I was in the game, because it was just end to end. It was on edge all the time, and I like to enjoy that. As much as we didn't get the win, it made it a little bit easier to accept the loss. Only the tiniest bit easier because it was a proper gut puncher, but it was a good game to watch. It really was. So yeah, the Falcons will probably fucking hour us.
Yeah.
What's Bo saying here?
He's saying what Tom was saying is where I'm coming from. If he goes to the Rams and has a storybook year, goes to the NFC Championship with an award like MVP, he could easily be in the convo.
See, I wouldn't say easy in the convo, but I could say the Stafford lovers and Stafford then have got something to to back up. At the moment, all they've got is, yeah, but he's had a shit team for all the years he's been there. He's elite. I don't care. But if he goes to the Rams with a really good team and does something,
he's like below the next group below. I don't know who you want to put in the elite group because you've clearly got Mahomes, you've got Brady,
he's a solid player.
You've got Aaron Rodgers, you've got one or two others that you're going to put in that elite bracket group. And Stafford's in the next chunk for me. Along with the likes of
Kyler.
At the minute, yeah, I think Kyler's.
He's still got to get those interceptions out there. He's still making sure he throws.
He's going to win MVP this year, isn't he? I think Kyler.
I think you're going to have to. I don't know if maybe the game's sort of coming to that point now where these scrambling QBs that do what they do, your Mahomes, your Lamars, your Kylers, you're going to have to every now and again accept an interception because of how bad they're trying to extend the plays. I think, like, I was on Twitter yesterday, I think, and after there was obviously loads of interceptions yesterday, but there was some games there was only one or two. And what I think someone, I think hit a nail on the head. They were saying, like, in the modern game now, you can easily deal with a turnover because the rest of your game, you're back to normal and you're putting yourself in a good position either defensively or offensively. That's where the Giants struggle, is when we're winning games, we're only winning by, 1, 2, if that. It's never more than one score. So then when you have this horrendous turnover out of nowhere, it's always costly. But when you look at your Kylers and your Lamars and your Mahomes, they will throw picks because they're fucking scrambling for 40 yards behind them and then throwing something at last minute just to try and keep that play alive.
They're taking risks, aren't they?
They take risks, yeah. And sometimes the interceptions, as much as it's a start against them, it was a nothing interception.
Yeah. It was like 3rd and 10 and they've intercepted it in their own 20. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
What I'll say about you saying if the Rams get to, say, the NFC Championship game, does that then put him in the conversation? Would you put Jimmy G in the conversation of being an elite quarterback? Took a team to the Super Bowl and for 3 quarters.
This is what I was sort of saying is I think it's not, for your neutral, I don't think it's enough to go Stafford's in that elite conversation. But for your Lions fans that have, had the enjoyment out of him for all the years they've had, and him being the only shining light in their cesspool, he will look better than what he actually is.
Like Jack Grealish.
Yeah. So now he goes to the Rams, and like, for example, yesterday I think he threw short. Was it short? Yeah. So I've got it here: 278 yards. He had 60% completion, and he threw an interception, 2 TDs. That's not elite but that's doing a job in a Rams team that would get him to those games. So it is the Lions biased, and I completely agree. Like, I'd be the same. Like, can you imagine if some miraculous reason, some weird reason, a big team took DJ and he just did what he did and got them to play? I'd be like, fuck you lot of you, look what I said. I said he was good enough, blah, blah, blah. Not that I ever said he's good enough. I just hoped he is. But because you have that emotional attachment, and I haven't heard one Lions fan say anything but Matt Stafford is unbelievable. Yeah, he doesn't get shown much on TV, so I think it says it all.
It sort of all stems back to is Brady the best of all time? No, he's just been the best team.
I think it's why we love the game so much, because it's all opinionated as well, isn't it? Jamie's scratching his head, trying not to bite. Look at him. Look at that scratch there. That was a deep scratch.
I'm just happy we haven't talked about Winston. So
yeah. Well, now you mention him.
I mean, shall we check his touchdown count for the season? Last week he was on 5. This week he's on 5, so that's fine.
He got a rushing TD though, didn't he?
He did. He did get a rushing one, but unfortunately,
Can we have the other count, please? Can we have the other count, please?
We do have it on here. It has been updated for comeback player of the year. Sorry, defensive player of the year.
Let's get this right.
Von Miller sack count 3.
There it is. It's just going to keep growing.
I mean, didn't somebody get 5? Chandler Jones got 5 in one game.
And then did nothing last week. The game was gone, I believe.
Yeah. So, who knows? Where's Matt stat? We need a Matt stat.
I haven't thrown any ridiculous.
Matt, you can have the Winston turnover count.
Can I have Winston Yard count? Because what was the stat? So far,
His numbers are put on.
He's thrown 259 yards in 2 games, and Daniel Jones threw 249 on Thursday night.
Yeah, but one of them, innit? He's thrown 5 touchdowns.
He's got to win.
Eli Manning
And a win.
Nick Foles won a Super Bowl.
Eli won 2.
Jimmy G and Goff are
Put some
aided
respect on his
incredibly.
name.
Stafford is the reason the Lions won games, but Corner Elite is a bit too much.
There we go. Says it all.
We're waiting for you to accept our invite to come on the pod, Elusive Poet.
Yeah, it would be good to have him on. He's here every week.
We'd like to have you on. Yeah.
Who do you support as well? Because he mentioned the NFC West, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
I'm going to say Cards.
I was thinking that.
We're just going to wait until he replies.
We'll just wait and see what happens. While we are waiting, it's 50 minutes, so we haven't done it yet. What are you drinking? We probably finished it. My can of Pepsi Max Cherry's finished.
I'm on Golden Goose. Oh,
Get Elusive Poet on this pod. Get him on this pod. What a guy.
Do you know what? Let's get him on for when the Giants play the Raiders, and we'll have Mark on, and Jamie can just sit in the background.
Yeah.
We'll have a 2v2 CBA fight me.
Jamie can referee.
Get in the sea. Everyone else can get the popcorn. And
what the hell happened there, Jesus?
It's because you got
that thing at the bottom. Yeah.
I'm on Golden Goose Lager from the Goose Island Beer Company.
I'm still clinging.
Still on bottle number 1 of.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. 4-pack.
Huge Cards fan, but honestly,
Cards,
I just love how much of a war zone the NFC West is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Another NFC boy though. We'll take it. The aging quarterbacks. So
More sign for
what about with
more guy did he meant to say?
Winston? Same thing, isn't it?
Oh, is that what he's talking about?
The comment Winston made when he said something like, "What is it my coach said to me?" What did he say to me?
Yeah.
He just said to be prepared.
Yeah.
I remember what my coach said to me. What did he say to me? He just said to be prepared.
I love him. What a guy.
We'll always give.
He is funny. I'll give him that. Like, he is funny in the media. But
Yeah.
I think you've got to be, because if you're that shit, you've got to have something about you, haven't you?
Jimmy Bullard, great example.
Yeah.
Now he's a host of Soccer AM. Trying to challenge real footballers at challenges just so he can actually do something.
JP's back. JP's back. Hello.
Oh, there you go. This episode's explicit.
Apologies, Elusive Poet. No gender bias here.
Yeah, everyone's all the same.
Tom's just happy to be here.
Yeah. You don't know what I'm doing behind his camera.
I can see you.
The best thing about having that picture there, I can sit and check my phone and ignore you.
Welcome to the 3rd and Short and Curlies.
Yeah.
The 3-inch and Short and Curlies.
But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting week. Hopefully, we're going to all be 3-0, 0-3.
Why hopefully?
I don't know.
You surely
Funny,
want to
innit?
beat the Falcons.
Atlanta Falcons. Why? They're 0-2.
Still division.
Yeah, no. I'm going to see the Falcons next month in London.
Oh, you're at the Jets game, aren't you?
Jets. Well, I'm so excited to see Zach Wilson, and I'm quite excited to see Kyle Pitts, and it's going to be it's going to be a 3-3 game.
That is something we need to talk about. Is Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson being number 1 and 2 pick, and both not really doing anything as of yet. What do you think? I know Mark said that he thinks Trevor will be elite, but Jags are shit, aren't they?
So are Jets. You're forgetting they are the worst 2 teams in the division. It's not going to happen straight away.
Yeah, like Mark says, Jets are in full rebuild mode this season. Not like they haven't been for the past 5 years or anything.
Telling you now, Jets will be in the playoffs next year.
Just give Wilson time.
Zach Wilson, there's a reason I put him in nearly every single one of my fantasy teams.
And, well, to be fair, I was saying to you, I was happy for. I was like, get Wilson. I thought he was going to do all right, but clearly
Yeah,
not.
I mean, to be fair, he's thrown more TDs than DJ. Just unfortunately, he's had a few more interceptions. But he's one of those. I mean, it reminds me of a certain boy that I once loved, still love. So keep throwing those TDs and INTs. I mean, judging on the average so far, it looks like he could beat that 30-33.
Reminds you of Winston?
Yeah, just throwing interceptions and touchdowns for days.
You look nothing alike.
The style of play. They're just happy to be there and just throwing balls.
Just happy to be there. Just taking part.
Skipping off the pitch. We lost again.
It's going to be interesting to see how they sort of, come on, because they haven't had the best of starts, have they? But they are in two trash franchises. So it's going to be Lucius Poet, man. Listen, stop justifying Morts. This is bantering between the pods where we're trying to dig him out of here. We all know the Jags and Jets are in rebuild, but we're not accepting it from Mort. We're not having it. So just play along and just say the shy, please.
I hope you watch the overtime show, Lucius Poet.
Yeah. But yeah,
no one does, apparently.
I've been excited to watch them. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see sort of how they develop and how they deal with the adversity. Burrow threw a pick as well yesterday, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. It is good to see it. It is. You want the rookies to sort of struggle and see how they sort of come out of it.
No, Burrow didn't throw a pick.
Did he not?
No.
You say Burrow?
No. Might have fumbled it.
Hang on.
You don't know. Fumbles don't come up on there, do they?
Wait there. Ignore me.
That's why DJ always looks good on Google.
I always
You actually look at the other stuff.
Yes, Burrow did throw 3 interceptions yesterday. Apologies.
Yeah. I didn't realise it was 3. So.
Well, 3 on TDs.
Yeah, Bengals haven't. I thought Bengals would do a bit better than how they've looked so far, but
Yeah, they're a bit. To be honest, they've not really got anyone, have they? I don't rate Joe Mixon, if I'm being honest. Got T. Higgins, I like him.
Yeah.
There's only one T. Higgins.
Chase, you know, hasn't
he? He got one yesterday.
Yeah.
2 catches for 54 yards. They're really going deep on him. Oh, yeah. That's what she said.
Jamie put that comment up.
If only DJ could play Washington 17 times, you still lose. You lost against them.
Yeah, yeah, but on the law of averages, he's only lost 20% of his games against Washington. He's won 80%.
Fair enough. If only DJ could play Washington 17 times a season.
We'd be on 11.5 wins.
And we can all firmly say that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think that's it for this week. I don't know if there's anything else that you guys wanted to mention. But make sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, not TikTok, because we don't use that crap, at Third Short Pod. And wherever you are watching or listening on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Deezer, wherever you are listening, press that follow button so you don't miss an episode. And if you're watching on Twitter or on Facebook, I'm pretty sure there's like a subscribe, follow button so you never miss when we go live as well. Tonight on Mondays, most likely 8:30 on a Thursday, if I'm correct, for overtime.
It's around then, isn't it?
Around there, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Whenever they start to turn up.
Basically. So that's it for me. Matt, do you have any last words?